So following on from like another average, poor, shocking, shite, whatever kind of performance you want to say for England, I was strolling through the Twitter like we all do, and as always, the man H, who does the overlap and does some really good tactical stuff, retweeted a little bit about Sean Dyche, and he's kind of put, this guy put, England need to succumb to their culture, their way of playing ingrained in them. You're not Spain, you're not Brazil. Fuck dominating possession. Get the ball launched into Tony and have players around him and Kane for knockdowns. Only then it will come. And remember, both goals that we scored against Slovakia were from set pieces. One from, obviously, the long throw, and then one was a second phase, I think, from a corner. So with that, and then Hitch got involved and said, people who think this is a negative style of play, this is us, man, especially with the profiles we have. So then I thought, let's create a 4-4-2. 2 strikers up there, 2 wide players, 2 aggressive midfielders, and maybe a couple of overlaps. It's kind of Sean Dyche. We're going to go into a little bit of a mid-block and see if we can get England to glory using a 4-4-2. All right, so this is a tactical video. Link in the description down to my Patreon if you want to download the tactic for free. Don't worry, before we go through the Euro Championships using the real-time database and the real fixtures, we will be able to go through the tactic and I'll show you how I have set it up. All right, let's get into it. Okay, so this is the tactic. 4-4-2, Dyche, England, my second version, because my first version I trialled with, we had a wide player, man. I just couldn't get the role to suit. Now, I do think we need to have a little bit of a creative spark in there. As you can see, the roles in the middle of midfield, the roles up front are not exactly creative. Perhaps, yes, the DLF, but we're going to get some nice width on the left. We're going to get that right complete wing back, so no Walker. We're going to get Trent in there at right back. I think Trent should have been playing up until this point. There's no reason why we couldn't have played Trent Alexander-Arnold as a more attacking fullback in against the teams that we've played so far. Absolute nightmare from Southgate in terms of that. So with a Trent going round there, I thought we maybe need to create this into a more creative role and let him roam and let him drift. And what I have actually done is change it to a wide midfielder on support with loads of playing instructions to get a nice balance in the squad. Okay, so 4-4-2, sweeper keeper on defend. We're going Aaron Ramsdale. I'm not a big fan of Pickford. I think we just want a shot stopper, don't we? Sean Dyche, 4-4-2, we want a shot stopper. We could have gone Pope, but he is terrible with his feet, so we have gone Ramsdale. Right, the back four. Complete wing back on support with the instruction of cross more often. We're going to have a wide player getting in there. We're going to have a late run from the box-to-box midfielder. We're going to have 2 strikers up there, whether it's Tony, Kane or Watkins in there. So we want balls in the box. And obviously with the quality of Trent, we need to make the most of that. 2 defenders. It would be still John Stones and probably still Harry Maguire. If we were playing a 4-4-2, even though Gay's done quite well, Branthwaite to come in, and I've got them in my squad, I would have gone 2 central defenders on defend because we're going to try and exploit set pieces, not try and overplay with them. Now, the left-hand side, we want to work in balance with that attacking winger on that left-hand side. So for me, it would have been, obviously, Luke Shaw's injured, but not calling Ben Chilwell up yet. I know he's not had a great season, but Kieran Trippier's not had a great season, and he's now playing at left-back instead of Chilwell. I think, once again, having Chilwell at least even in Southgate's formation, would have been a lot better than having Trippier there and then hopefully getting Shaw fit. We're just having Chilwell on support, but that ideally, in a perfect world, would be Luke Shaw. Okay, moving into the midfield, we'll do the central midfielders first. Like, it has to be Declan Rice, CM on defend to get the 4-4-2, player instructions, take fewer risks, dribble less, and tackle harder. The box-to-box midfielder, Jude Bellingham, he should be doing this role right now. I don't think creatively he's absolutely amazing, but we want to get him in the penalty area. So box-to-box midfielder, take more risks, dribble more, and get further forward so he can get beyond that DLF and get into the penalty area and hopefully score some goals. The wide left, we would probably go Saka. I think he can do it out there. He would offer some natural width. We still want him to cut inside. He can still cut inside on his left foot and get involved, but we want him to start nice and wide. And obviously, we're going to have cross more often on at times as well, so we can get that ball in the box, Saka on his natural left foot to give us a little bit of whippage on that side. Right, the right side, it would be, even though he's not suited to it at all, Phil Foden. He could do that in the game. He just can't do that, but I'm quite happy for him to be a wide midfielder. Phil Foden, wide midfield on support. Player instructions, take more risks. Cross from deep. Can he swivel it onto his left foot and cross? Get further forward. Roam from position and sit narrower as well. So we're not hugging the touchline. We try and get in the half spaces and hopefully get Trent going round that right-hand side. And then my starting front two would be Harry Kane and probably Ollie Watkins, just to give us a little bit of pace, just to give us something a little bit in behind, something that maybe Ivan Toney can't do. And then on the bench, we would have Ivan Toney with Marcus Rashford. This is where we get like the basic, the classic English 4-4-2. Balanced mentality, standard width, overlapping on the right, slightly more direct, higher tempo, yes. Sometimes time wasting, yes. Crossing early, yes. We've got tremendous plays in the air and play for set pieces. In transition, counter press and counter with out of possession, a good mid-block, really compact, packed mid-block as you can see. Trigger press slightly more often, get stuck in, trap outside and try and get that 2 banks of 4 in, be a really narrow, aggressive 4-4-2 and stop crosses. That is the tactic, guys. As I said, I've left it down in the description. If you want to support the channel, that would be absolutely tremendous. Let's go and see the squad that I've actually put together. So the 26. Before we get into it, though, I would like you to check out the link in the description to my main man, Caddy, and his Trasferta Magazine. It's a football fanzine kind of style. Nothing about Pep Guardiola and positional play and tiki-taka. This is proper football. This is covering football all over the planet. £3.50 as well. You've got stories from Kosovo, Athens, Brazil, the Marshall Islands. Not a clue where that is. If you like your, let's say, obscure football, then check out Trasferta Magazine. There is a whole section on the elite rise of, is it Karabakh? In Azerbaijan, remember them? Really good stories about teams. Like, if you're looking for an obscure FM save, then pick up one of these. And I'm actually going to give one of these away in the comments down below. All I want you to do, because this is the England video, I just want you to let me know the tactic and the starting 11, regardless of who's in the squad and who's not in the squad. Pick your formation and your England team, put it down in the comments. I will pick, me and Caddy will pick a winner out at random, and the winner, I will make sure, if you're in the UK, no, anywhere in the world, I will sort the postage and you will get your hands on one of these. All right, go check it out, link in the description. He also loves his FM as well. Go check it out. Pickford, Pope and Ramsdale. Centre-backs of Maguire, Gay. I would have Benjamin White as a little bit of a right-back / centre-half. Obviously not in the England squad at the moment, but that's because of Gareth Southgate. I would have called Jared Branthwaite up because I think he's a good, if we're going to play for set pieces and play a classic 4-4-2, he would suit that. Kyle Walker is a bit of a backup, maybe playing those bigger games against some of the bigger sides in sort of like the latter stages, maybe if we think that Trent's maybe going to get exploited from maybe an Mbappe or someone like that. And then fullbacks, Luke Shaw and Ben Chilwell. In midfield, Declan Rice, Conor Gallagher, because he can kind of do both roles in that 4-4-2. Adam Wharton, just because we've not got that real sort of like that CDM backup. Jack Grealish as a wide attacking player out on that left. James Maddison as a backup for Foden on the right-hand side. I think he would suit that narrow right formation where he could just clip balls and cross early, whip balls into the strikers. Jared Bowen, who could act as another option on the left, another option potentially on the right if we want to be a bit more direct on that right-hand side. And then up front, Marcus Rashford, Anthony Gordon play out on the left, Watkins and Toney, and obviously Kane. So there's 4 strikers. Gordon out on that left as well. We still are, I think, we're very short in midfield. If we got more than a couple of injuries in there, we'd really struggle. We'd be looking at a midfield of Gallagher and Wharton, which isn't great. But the idea is that maybe Kane and Watkins start and then Toney and Rashford come on. In particular, Rashford. I think not having Rashford in the squad is another poor decision because we could have been exploiting his pace down the left, up top, towards end of game, especially when we're trying to break narrow blocks. So someone who can just go in behind a little bit, try and stretch the play. It might even open out the play. If they then start sitting a little bit deeper, it might then open out the play for someone like a Phil Foden, James Maddison, Bellingham, and that to drift inside and work in the pockets with the spaces that have been created by someone trying to go in behind. All right, let's go and find out. Right, this is our draw, obviously. We've got France in a friendly first, Denmark, Denmark, Slovenia, and then Serbia. Let's go and see how we get on. Now, as you can see, the friendly at Wembley, our warm-up game before the cup started, not a great start. Losing 2-0. Anton Griezmann scoring on 5 and 19, 15 shots to our 5. We had an XG of 0.26 to their 2.96. 55% of the ball as well to our 45. We've been well and truly battered. Poor performances across the park, including Ollie Watkins. He's not amazing in the game. And I'm also a little bit worried about Phil Foden on that right-hand side. Not used to playing it yet. And we've also got a James Maddison who can potentially down the line play in that role and maybe a little bit comfortable on that right-hand side. Okay, in our opening game against Denmark, things did not go to plan. A Kaya header after 60 minutes. Eriksen soon replying to give Denmark a 2-0 lead. However, on 85, we were given a lifeline. Trent and Foden combining down the right. Saka with a looping header at the back post to make it 2-1. And then on 89, we managed to salvage the draw. Good work. Once again, Saka coming in on that left-hand side, giving us natural width and giving us a 2-2 draw. And as you can see, the game was pretty, possession-wise, absolutely dominated. However, getting that 2-2. So far, though, things are not looking tremendously good. Once again, poor from our strikers, as you can see, a 6.5 for Watkins, a 6.4 for Harry Kane. We're obviously not getting the ball enough to them and still not seeing anything really from Phil Foden. So for the second game, we've made some changes. In comes James Maddison. We need to do some changes anyway to freshen up the squad because I know they're going to get tired at latter stages, hopefully, of the competition if we get there. We've then put in Marcus Rashford to give us some sheer pace. I think down the line, it naturally would be Ollie Watkins, but he's not amazing in the game, and I know what Marcus Rashford could do in a 4-4-2. And we took the lead. Harry Kane getting the first goal. Bellingham with that forward run, pull back into Harry Kane. Absolutely fantastic. It was 1-1 though. John Stones giving up possession, and that main man for Slovenia, who else? Benjamin Sesko should have done that against Portugal, but he did manage to bury it in the game. However, 25 minutes, the game was won. Maddison on this right-hand side. What a pass that is into Rashford. My two changes won us the game. Not amazing in terms of scoreline, but as you can see, 25 shots on goal compared to their 7, a 2.97 XG. Couple of players booked as well. Maguire, Kane, Declan Rice and Luke Shaw. Remember, 2 bookings gets an automatic suspension. So for the third game against Serbia, I think we kind of qualified now with a draw and a win. Mark Gay came in for the suspended Harry Kane, Marcus Rashford, James Maddison all keep their place in the starting 11. And we absolutely blew them away in the first half. Kane into Saka, long ball, Rashford hunts it down and fires home. Just giving us something. That's what England don't have at the moment. Enough players running in behind. Rashford's done that twice already and got himself a couple of goals. Luke Shaw working well with Saka on there. Kane taking advantage, but Saka giving us natural width down that left-hand side, something we don't have. Now Declan Rice working as the defensive midfielder. Long ball again. Rashford's run. Rashford burying on 32 for his third goal in 2 games. And as you can see, Maddison into Trent. Nicely worked. Luke Shaw, second phase of a corner. Maybe a little bit of luck. Maybe a little bit unrealistic in terms of real FM. Serbia got a goal just before half-time. Poor on a set piece. Really disappointed with that. Into the start of the second half, Mitrovic got himself on the score sheet to make it a little bit interesting. At 4-2, beating Mark Gay. That would have never happened with Harry Maguire at the back stick. However, Marcus Rashford completed his hat-trick this time, serving from Harry Kane on his left foot. Overall score of 5-3. What a game once again. A massive 21 shots on goal. Completely turned now as this tactic with the introduction of that pace from Rashford and maybe a little bit more natural balance with James Maddison on that right-hand side. 47% of possession for them, 4 shots on target and 3 goals, which is rather disappointing. But we move to the knockout stages. There you see, we actually finished second in Group C because Denmark had a better, better goal difference. They had a goal difference of 4 compared to our 3, which means the second round draw has given us Germany, who comfortably won theirs, maximum 3 wins out of 3. 3-0 against Hungary, 3-1 against Switzerland. And what did they do against the Scottish? They beat them 3-0. Scotland getting a man sent off again. Let's go and see what changes we've made and how we get on in the second round. So for the second round game against Germany, we just made one change, and that was bringing Harry Maguire back in, suspended against Serbia in the last game. So just that one change against the hosts. And that change ended up being beautiful. Harry Maguire nodding home to give us the lead. And just before half-time, Rice into Harry Kane and him slotting home. Little bit of luck. We deserve that luck to give us a 2-0 lead against Germany at half-time. Fulkrug, though, smashing home a penalty early on in the second half. But once again, set pieces to the rescue for England. Second phase of a corner. Maddison into Rashford, who is on absolute fire. And then the 83rd minute, we made it completely safe, hitting a fourth, a breakdown in defence from Ram on that right-hand side, out of position, Saka squaring it to Harry Kane, and we beat the Germans 4-1 to advance to the quarterfinals. They, to be fair, if you look at the statistics, 21 shots to our 13, 11 on target for them with an XG of 3.15, 72% of the ball compared to our 28%. That is a Sean Dyche masterclass, right? So going into the quarterfinals, we had to take on probably the favourites in real life, and my favourite team at the moment, obviously everyone's, it's Spain. One change we've had to make to the side, we've had Conor Gallagher had to come in for the suspended Declan Rice. So we're going to play Conor as the sort of like the central midfielder and defend, and allow Jude Bellingham. I was thinking of swapping the roles over, but I thought, no, let's just have Conor as the more simpler role and allow Jude Bellingham to get in beyond Harry Kane, Marcus Rashford, leading the line once again for England. And we made a really fast start to the game. Pedri in possession, losing out to Bellingham, a quick forward pass in to Harry Kane, something we do not see much of this so far in the Euros. We then nip in again, breaking down possession, waiting for them to make a mistake. James Maddison winning the ball, driving forward and smashing us to give us a 2-0 lead early on in the second half. 2 then became 3. We're just sat in that narrow mid-block, waiting for the chance to pounce. Maddison finding a forward run of Rashford to make it 3. Spain did get back into it just before the hour mark. Pedri into Koke. Lovely finish. Ramsdale should have done better, but there was nothing stopping the Sean Dyche England train. And on 83 minutes, we made it 4. Rashford into Kane, who fired home to give us a magical win against what you would have classed the favourites. And as you can see, the stats, a little bit more even. We had more of the ball than what we did against Germany. We didn't get pounded. They only had 6 shots on target to our 5. They had an XG, though, of 0.62, while we had an XG of 1.10. So we've probably deserved to edge that. Maybe not 4-1, but we're on to the semi-finals. The semi-finals where we play France. Denmark and Austria have made it through. The quarterfinals look like this. France beating Turkey, us beating Spain, Denmark beating Switzerland, and Italy beating Austria. Austria beating Italy on penalties. In the last 16, Belgium and Portugal falling to Italy and Austria. That's a big result. Ronaldo going home crying, losing 4-1 to Ralf Rangnick's Austria. So into the semi-final, and once again, Harry Maguire has got himself suspended. He loves a yellow card. Do we get stuck in? So the question is, do we go Matt Gay or do we go for something a little bit different? And I was kind of edging towards Jared Branthwaite. So I made the decision to go for Jared Branthwaite a little bit, I think, because Matt Gay got beat in the air in one of the group games, and I wanted that real physical presence in case an Olivier Giroud came on. So we went with Jared Branthwaite. The second change I actually made was putting Trent out and bringing Kyle Walker in. I do think it's something that maybe we should have done in this competition. Maybe play Trent early on, and in these big games against these big countries, do a little bit of a change. And I always wanted to see that Mbappe versus Kyle Walker battle. So we have brought in Kyle Walker for a Trent who was fully fit, but I just thought we'll just leave him out with Denmark and Austria in the other semi-final. Maybe he can then come into the final and play when we're expected to dominate the ball a little bit. And once again, my decision to bring a centre-half in paid dividends. Branthwaite on the third phase of a corner, scoring. However, in the 90th minute of the game, Mbappe got himself on the inside, getting away from Kyle Walker, and Kante tapping home to make it 1-1. Nothing in extra time, which meant we went to penalties. Mbappe stepping up first, Harry Kane for us, putting the keeper the wrong way to make it 1-1. And Cuckoo, post, good job. I don't know what Aaron Ramsdale was doing there. Ivan Toney, super sub, penalty man, coming off the bench. Griezmann, putting Ramsdale the wrong way with a lovely penalty. Jude Bellingham, the man, lovely side foot into the bottom corner. William Saliba misses, saved by his Arsenal teammate to give us a 4-2 win on penalties. As you can see, 25 shots, 60% of the ball with a better XG, but we're hanging in there. We're hanging in there, Sean Dyche style. We're not expected to dominate the ball, but what we are doing is creating really good opportunities. We're scoring from set pieces. We didn't have as much joy in terms of possession. As you can see, we made a lot of subs in there as well to freshen it up. We have got a few tired bodies out there. So the big decision I had to make was, do I keep with Walker and Branthwaite, or do I look at bringing in Maguire and Trent back in? Because it's a final, I do think there's been a little bit... I'm trying to be the more pragmatic style. We're not going out and absolutely playing wonderful football all the time. So I did think maybe Kyle Walker coming into a semi-final and final kind of makes sense, keeping him fresher for those bigger games towards the end. So we've kept with him, and I've decided to bring in Harry Maguire. Had a tremendous competition. Despite being suspended twice, he has had a really good competition. Denmark in the final. Let's go and see. Now, as FM normally does, things didn't go to plan. Lindstrom breaking through the midfield and firing home after just 6 minutes. We equalised, though, on 23. Maddison into Rashford. Look at that half turn. Absolutely wonderful. Them, the WM and the A and the advanced forward working superbly well. Harry Kane making it 2-1 and then 3-1 with 2 penalties inside 3 minutes. As you can see, we have won the European Championship 2024 using a 4-4-2. Out of possession again. Good chances, I suppose. 2.45 with 2 penalties. Probably deserved to win the final. There you go, guys. It can be done. Sean Dyche getting in as England manager. 4-4-2. 4 strikers. You know, we've had to call on Toney at times. Kane. Watkins started. Also, Marcus Rashford. Marcus Rashford has finished the competition with 7 goals. Pace, pace, pace. With Harry Kane getting 8 goals as well. Absolutely fantastic. Saka getting a couple. Branthwaite, Luke Shaw, Maddison with that wonderful goal. 3 assists for Maddison. 3 assists for Jude Bellingham as well. We've done it. England 4-4-2. Just get that ball in the box. Play that ball forward. Be aggressive with a press. Once it goes forward, squeeze up the pitch. Be nice and compact. There you go. All the tactic is available for you Patreons. As I said, you ones that are not Patreons, go check out the Patreon. Be absolutely appreciated. If not, just go back through the video and copy through the tactic. All the team and player instructions were there for you to copy in to your own FM24 save. Stay tuned. Sunday morning, the new series, Let's Play live streams, is starting on the channel. It's called The GOAT.